Hey y'all, for today's episode, we were lucky to have the wonderful Catie Callihan, the brains behind the new band Perish, P-E-R-I-S-H. Perish, I know the name sounds like it's like this wild metal band, but it's not that. We get into that a little bit. We talk about the ambiguity of names. What's in a name? We talk a bit about Florida, of course, the wild Florida man. And we also talk about her mixtape. Her mixtape highlights local musicians where she is, which is in New York. As always, you can support us at tapeclub.substack.com. It is free to sign up. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us hi@tapeclub.biz. And that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Catie Callihan. We've got Catie Callihan of Perish. Catie, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Alexei.
Catie, you have an album, obviously, or an EP, I guess, coming out September 12th. This is going to be your first EP, right?
Correct. First one.
And so is this your first podcast interview?
You know, this is.
Are you so pumped? Are you so pumped to be in the pod world?
I'm like a little sweaty, nervous, and pumped.
How does it feel to be in your own room, nervous, sitting by yourself, nervous? It's strange.
This is where all songs start.
That's actually pretty cool to know. I mean, that is true. Speaking of songs, the way that we like to start every show is to ask what song has been stuck in your head lately. It can be, you know, if you woke up and had a song stuck in your head or something you just heard the other day. What's something that's been stuck in your head?
You know, I'm sure you probably heard this, the elderberry wine. Elderberry?
I don't know. Elderberry wine? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. By Wednesday.
The Wednesday song.
As opposed to Thursday or Friday. Wednesday.
When I typed it in, it said that it is a song by Elton John. So, is it a cover? I don't know.
Wait, I actually don't know. Can we find that out? What are the lyrics to the Elton John? No way.
There's a fly in the window, a dog in the yard, and a year since I saw you. That's the opening lines to the Elton John one. But on when I Googled it, Wednesday's elderberry wine comes up as well. So nothing is original. Nothing is original. Maybe
there's something there that I don't know.
There's two things there that I don't know. I don't know either one of those things until I just looked them up.
She's like just a country. It's just like a comfort song. Well, for me, you know. Yeah.
Wednesday, correct me if I'm wrong, I should know this. MJ Lenderman was in that band, right? Is that something?
Is? Yeah, correct. Which is, I think, how I'm like hearing this music now, because I had never heard of Wednesday previously. And I'm like, now, like, because he's like blowing up like crazy, it feels like.
I heard of them and I just never listened to them. And, I don't know. I really need to do a better job of listening to more current stuff. Every time I go to listen to music, it's always old shit. I never listen to new shit. I need to get better at that.
I like the old shit.
Well, speaking of the old shit, that's what's been stuck in my head is a song actually from a band who I just randomly discovered. They were only around in the 80s, but they're called Micro Disney, and they're from Ireland, and they are so fucking cool, but they never blew up. They never got big, so it's very strange. But the song is called Dolly. It's a cool one. I'll send it to you after we, get off the show. I'm not gonna waste time playing Dolly.
Like Parton?
Yeah, like Parton. Yeah, but I don't think it's about Dolly Parton. I can't really tell ever what their songs are about. The writing is so sick. Like, I'm gonna send it to you because you're gonna dig it. Yeah.
Micro Disney.
Micro Disney. Yeah, it's good stuff. I was going to say, speaking of Micro Disney and, talking about elderberry wine having two versions, I mentioned earlier, nothing is original. And recently with, I have an album coming too, and I've had to do these sessions. I don't know if you've had to do any of these things yet, but like recording sessions of your own songs to give to radio stations or whatever. And I don't really know how to play my own songs, so I've just been doing covers or just writing totally new songs to give them. And one I called it Time Moves Slow, and then I like Googled it, and it's like that name has been taken like 100 times, and I was like, damn. It's like I always writing songs with the name that gets taken, you know?
Is that like validating though? Is it like, it was a hit and here I am?
I don't know. It probably says something about the collective consciousness. It's certainly a different feeling than like, I don't know if you used to do this back on Twitter when it was Twitter. If you had like a funny joke, you'd like search it real quick and then you'd see like 100 people made that like tweet already. And you're like, damn, like it's been done. I don't
That's
know.
me just in real life.
Why?
I like go to make a joke and either they don't hear it or like someone beats me to it. And I'm like,
or the worst case, someone near you hears it, they retell it, and they get the hit from the joke.
That is my like life sentence that someone has cursed me to till the day I die.
I think I've been there before when that has happened to you. Maybe
You've probably done it to me.
So I want to talk about this EP that you got. It's self-titled. It's called Perish, Perish. The band is called Perish because there's also a town in Florida called Parrish, but that's spelled, I think, Parrish. So talking about similar names, right? Perish. Tell me why you decided to name this band after this town in Florida.
I wanted to have some kind of nod to rural roots. And Parrish, the town that I grew up in, and you spelled it correctly, it was like strawberry farm town, orange groves, very small town, very rural. My guy Oscar rode his horse to school in high school, like no gas station, like small. And so I wanted some kind of nod to that, where you'll hear in one of the songs, there's a little bit of like a Southern, kind of nod to that as well. But I didn't want it to be spelled exactly the same because when I see it, it just reminds me of like, exit signs, and it's just too much, too on the nose.
And so you thought maybe switching it to Perish with ER kind of takes it away enough from, that name. But in doing so, it turns it into a pretty dark name.
Which is kind of funny to me. I think it's a little bit hilarious where I imagine someone saying like Perish with an E on like a bill or something, and they think it's going to be some deathcore girly screaming. And then I come up in my like lacy paisley ruffles and I'm like, hey guys.
Yeah, that's exactly that. It's like when I tell people I like the band Destroyer and they don't know them and they're like, oh shit, like that guy's into like some metal shit. And I'm like, no, it's like just like a dude kind of talk singing over like synths. It's really, it's just whatever. But I mean, it's a great name, Perish. I like it. I'm into it. And I've only heard the first single. I assumed that I would get an advance copy of the album, but I didn't. But it's okay. I can wait like the rest of the people. You recorded this in Rhode Island at a place called Big Nice Studio. So was this your first time in like a studio, kind of driving the recording process and recording your band, your work, or have you kind of been in studios like that before?
I've never been in a studio place like that. That place is definitely an adventure of its own. But I have recorded one song, a couple songs here and there in other people's home studios. But this was my first kind of like intensive experience, full band, not just me and one other person, and like, yeah, kind of busting out a bunch of tracks within a couple days.
Yeah, it was a very quick process, right? Y'all were up there for 3 days, 4 days?
We drove Friday night, so we had all of Saturday and all of Sunday, not even all of Sunday, half of Sunday to record, and we left by 4 or 5 on Sunday.
Oh, wow. So y'all were not up there. That really was very quick. It was like a day and a half.
Uh-huh.
That's nuts. And so you must have gone in fairly rehearsed. No.
We had, I think, 2 practices as a band ever before we showed up there.
Wow. And so okay, so in those practices, this EP is 5 tracks. In those practices, y'all, I assume, played all of them, or was there something new that you just made up in the studio while you were there?
One of them, what they had never heard before, but it's the last one on the track. It's acoustic, it's pretty simple. I was like, look, if I could do this on my own as like a standalone thing, if we don't want to incorporate everyone. So the core of the tracks we did rehearse together.
Right. What is, you write these tunes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of difficulties do you find bringing a song to a group of people and, making it into its full kind of idea? Because I've been on that side where I've brought a song to people, and it's to me, it's really weird. It can be awesome because someone else will just like do all the work basically and fill in all the gaps. It can also kind of not be that awesome because you have to learn to communicate when you don't like something, but you have to do it in like a very tactful way. How do you walk that line?
That is such a skill that I didn't prepare for. I didn't even foresee that being like something that I needed or like anything that could be an issue until I was in it, where the first day we ran through everything live, and the second day we had notes and some feedback and kind of got in the weeds a little bit more. And that process was overwhelming, where everyone has an opinion about their instrument and who's louder and who has the right words. And here I am like getting lost in terminology and trying to catch. It's like they're literally speaking another language and I'm getting every other word. And so that's a skill I'm still working on.
What would you do differently next time you were to go somewhere? Because to me, just what it sounds like is that there was not enough time to sit together and mix it as a group because y'all only had a couple days.
Yeah, we had time. We spent the Sunday morning, the first maybe only hour or 2, each giving notes on everything, but there definitely wasn't enough time to like sit down with everyone individually, really parse things out. It kind of felt like it needed to be like a majority rules and I trust you. And when are we getting too lost in the weeds where we're not all going to agree what's really important? Was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine when you're trying to balance out a lot of different voices, it becomes, it becomes kind of, sometimes maybe unmanageable. I really prefer, I don't know, you can't really do it when you're in a band, but like I prefer to just handle that part one-on-one with the engineer, because it's like, okay, thank you guys for playing. You can go to the other room and enjoy yourself. I'm going to sit here now with this person and we're going to mix. But I don't think that's kind of rude to do, I guess, if you're like in a band. You can't just lay the hammer down like that.
Yeah. I mean, that certainly is like easier logistically where you're like hearing just one person at a time. But I wanted to hear what everyone had to say. And something about these guys is I respect them so much because they are each so meticulous about their craft and the bass tones they want to hear, the drum, whatever that they want. Like they're so meticulous, which is like amazing. There's like a genius there. And at the same time, it's like, how do we all have space for this?
I mean, I'm sure it was an incredible experience and, a fun roller coaster ride, probably a lot of stuff you learned, for next time. One thing I wanted to ask about, I think the way that y'all met as a band is very interesting. I heard that it has something to do with performances in a church. So can you tell me the story about how y'all met.
Yes. Yes, which is also kind of another subtle reason to like perish the name. I think it can also mean church or like pastor.
I think so. Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say instead of the exit signs. I thought you were going to be like, it reminds me too much of a church. And then you were like, it reminds me of exit signs. I was like, yeah, I get that too. It's a multifaceted name. I like it.
So yes, I started going to this church like several years ago when I first moved to New York to try to find any sense of like familiarity, consistency, community, because I moved here knowing no one. And they were so kind to like, yeah, play next week. Let's go. Come on, to my surprise. And so I started playing keys and like singing with these random strangers. And it really does help form like a sense of intimacy really quickly. And I met like, I don't remember who I met first, but I met one of them kind of scattered throughout one at a time, and each kind of like shy and like awkward and just kind of like, I don't know, just shy. And then I met them all together maybe like a year later, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are like funny. I had no idea they were funny. I was just blown.
They had to bounce it off of each other to like you couldn't. It's like this. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like the Three Stooges. Like you can't have one without the other. They have to be together. Comedy comes in threes, right? That's the big rule.
I think they would agree with this.
Yeah, it's the truth. So you played with each of them individually before you played with them as a group. Is that because like I guess at this church space, it's whoever showed up would be playing? So it's like jams almost?
So basically you just get scheduled at random, and there's a list of like 50 musicians, really talented musicians that come through this place. They each have their own like side projects. So you meet a lot of really cool talent and people playing shows, and it's just a really interesting group of really talented people. And so, wait, I forgot your original question.
Well, I guess I was wondering how was it possible that you played with each of them individually and then happened to play with them as a group?
Okay, yes. So I didn't play with them all. I've actually still have never played with them all in a group at the church. I will still get scheduled with one or two of them at a time because there's just so many musicians. And depending on, New York is so transient that I think it's just a big bank of people to pull from for Sundays. And so, yeah, I just with travel and people's schedules or whatever, I never got scheduled with all of them at the same time.
That is so wild. So when you go there on a Sunday, first of all, do you still play in that collective?
Like once a month, yeah.
And when you show up there, when they've asked you to come, I guess, they give you like music to like read and play along, or how does it work?
So generally the set list is finalized by like latest Friday. So you have the sheet music, you have the flow, you have kind of what you need to memorize by usually Friday. And then we meet at 8 a.m. on Sunday, and then it starts at 10:30. So we have a couple hours of band practice together.
Wow. That is wild. That is wild to me. Like, so like bringing it back to my experience, right? Like I said, I'm recording these sessions these couple days here, and the reason I was saying I write like new songs to give to the radio stations is because I don't even know how to play my old songs. Like I don't even know how to play songs that I wrote. So I cannot imagine receiving the list of what you're going to do like 24 hours in advance and learning it all. That's, kudos. That is, I understand the level of talent, I guess, that goes into these things now.
You could totally do it. It's generally nothing crazy.
And then obviously it speaks to the quality of musicians in New York and just how many there are. Obviously, more than in a place like Parrish, Florida, more than where I'm from, Jacksonville, Florida, you know? So what inspired the move to New York City, and does it feel like home? Are you ready to leave it ever?
How much time do we have? Oh man. I would say the short answer is it felt like a bunch of doors closed for me with a chapter in Florida, whether that was work, a romantic relationship, school. Like, it just felt like a natural ending where I was like, do I start over here or do I leave? And I decided to start over and leave.
Yeah, I feel like New York is incredible, but it's tough. It is hard to live there. I think New York, people who live in New York are playing life on hard mode. And then like you go somewhere else and you're like, oh wow, like shit's actually like cheaper. This is crazy. But I don't know. I know the reason I asked about the New York thing is because in the next segment, I guess, the mixtape segment, there's a lot of New York stuff going on. So I wanted to tease that a little bit. We'll get into it after the break. But look, September 12th is the Parrish EP. What's one last parting thought before we get to the break that the viewer or listener should keep in mind about this EP?
I'm like, there's an old photo of my grandmother in boxing gloves. My great grandma.
Is that what it is? Okay, so I didn't know what that was. I just assumed it was something you found. It's related to you somehow.
Yes, the series of photos with the first single, the second, and the EP are all a series of black and white photos of my mom's family in Montana.
It means a lot, it seems like. It's got connections to your family. It's obviously very poetic in its writing, and it represents like, you know, a bunch of new beginnings, I guess. I don't know. I'm just, because it's the first EP you made, right? So.
Yeah. I would say the first single photo of my great grandmother in the skirt and the boxing gloves barefoot is the exact like tension I'm trying to encapsulate of like beauty and femininity, barefoot, floral, and this kind of like cheeky, punchy, don't mess with me posture.
Well, there you go. There you have it. It is Parrish self-titled EP, September 12th. Keep an eye out, and then maybe look for a boxing grandma on it. Oh, I guess she's not a grandma in it. She's younger, but you get what I'm saying. Look, let's take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we are getting to the mixtape. All right, everybody's favorite segment, the mixtape. It is here. The mixtape, the playlist. I don't know. We got to stick with the cassette theme, so call it a mixtape. It's more of a playlist, for being honest. Catie, so tell me a bit about the theme or the idea behind this mixtape before we get into it.
I'm an ideas girly. I had so many ideas. It was difficult to narrow down where I knew I could really do something Florida-based with you and I. We could really go to Gator Town or something. Alligator Alley, I don't know. I knew.
Hell yeah. That's a classic Florida phrase for all y'all listening. Go to Gator Town. That's what we all say. It's how you can tell someone's a Florida local, you know.
Oh,
so
no.
They make you answer that question when you get your Florida driver's license. We are going to blank. Gator Town.
I have so many opinions about Florida driving. I'm not even. Well,
one question that I had that I skipped was everyone hates Florida. So tell me one bad thing about Florida and one good thing about Florida. But you can answer it if you want. I mean, it's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. I mean, for me, this answer is so easy. I love Florida, the landscape. Like Florida, the land and the birds and the green and the swamp and the critters and the four-legged whatever coming through. I love the flowers, and you can grow anything you want. Just throw some seeds. Boom. You got an orange tree, got a grapefruit tree. Pop, pop. Yum, yum. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
But
and the beach is right there.
yes, the rivers, the
manatees,
the springs,
the panthers.
Are you kidding
oh yeah,
me?
the springs, the glass bottom boats.
Oof.
So that's all the good stuff.
Yes. But the personalities, I cannot defend the Florida man. I'm just like, yes, they are there. And that's all I have to say about it.
I will not blame the Florida man, for I think he is purely a product of his environment. I think that this is my soapbox. I'll be real quick. I think that the state is run so poorly that people end up having to like fend for themselves, and it turns this weird like psychosis on in their brains. I'm not a fan of Florida as a organization, but I agree with you. The beaches, incredible. The swamps, full of mosquitoes, but still incredible in their own way. But wait, so tell me the theme about the playlist.
Playlist theme. Okay, so I had lots of ideas, but this current time, what's on my mind is I'm trying to put together a show for both August and September, and I wanted to try to headline female presenting or female artist, which I don't know if it's just my lack of not being totally in the scene. I feel like I'm kind of dipped my toe in and I'm on the outside, but it's been a tough challenge to try to find New York City or Brooklyn based female headlining or female presenting bands. So this project, this playlist mixtape, it was kind of a bit of homework for me to do my research and go like, who are the women in the front right now? Who would I want to play a show with? Who's inspiring to me? That was the theme.
The New York music scene is crazy. There's so much stuff going on. It seems like there can be like an incredibly successful, not even just band or artist, it can be a whole incredibly successful group of bands, and they just like you can be living in the same neighborhood and just not know anything about it. It's very, very strange. But I will say, this playlist was awesome. I knew a couple of the artists. I'm not going to tell them who they are. We'll get to it thing by thing. I'm not going to bury the lead or whatever they say. But I didn't know the majority of them. And there was one specific song on here that I really loved, but we will get to it. Let's start with the first track. You picked a song called Life Signs by a band called Water From Your Eyes. This is one of the ones I'd heard of before, and they're very cool. Tell me, why did you put this song on there as the first song?
This specific mixtape starts with a bit of a punch. It's kind of like, I'm here, pay attention to me, watch out. It's kind of like, damn, wow. Like you have to it forces you to really listen and lean in. So the kind of arc is like a punch, and then it gets really soft and quiet.
Yes, it definitely does. Water From Your Eyes. How did you first hear about this band, or how did you first learn about them?
They are in a couple of shared musician bands around, where Nate has his own project. They each kind of have their own projects, and I think the guitarist, or one of them, Al, was a regular at Say, the coffee shop. And so I had followed, don't know actually what everyone's pronouns are, but I had followed Al on Instagram because they were just a regular at the coffee shop, and then noticed they were playing in all these bands, and then you kind of see the web of shared musicians, and so that's how I found them.
Yeah, that's the reason I know Water From Your Eyes, is because of This Is Lorelei, and from there I learned about Water From Your Eyes. But that entire web, as you put it, of musicians there, they're all sick, and everything they do is so interesting to listen to. this song as well. Let's hear a little bit of it. Here's Life Signs by Water From Your Eyes. The next song is 0% by a band called Hello Mary. So this, I didn't know anything about. So tell me a bit about 0%. Tell me a bit about Hello Mary.
Hello Mary opened for a friend's band. Again, around, had no idea who they were. And I saw a bunch of people going to the show, tagging them. So I checked out their music and was floored by how they could create such an amplified sound. I think it's a 3-piece set. I could be wrong, but it's a small team and big sound. And like, again, I just love that irony of this, like if you were to look at a female, or let alone like a smaller, like slender person, and this big sound comes out, I just love nothing more than that kind of surprise.
I feel like with these last two acts, you've brought up some sort of connection through social media. Do you use social media a lot to discover like new bands and new artists, or like? Because I personally don't, but I do use Spotify a lot to discover new bands. Is Instagram up there for you as like a discovery mechanism?
Totally. Yeah, I'll have seasons where I'm not on Instagram or I don't look at it. And the one thing that I crave and miss is who's playing, who's mixing something, who's recording something. Because I follow people who are involved in the whole arc of performing and recording. And so not knowing like what's up and coming or who's playing, that's the biggest thing I miss when I'm not using it.
I mean, it seems like it's working when you are using it, because a band like Hello Mary is, you found them through that, I guess. Let's hear a little bit of Hello Mary. Here is their song, 0%. Next up is a song called Sparklehorse from a band called Nara's Room. It's not a song called Nara's Room from the band Sparklehorse. Don't get it confused. Nara's Room, I have also heard of through a radio station I work with called Brain Rot Radio. I think Nara's Room has played some shows that Brain Rot have done live streams, like video live streams of. So Nara's Room, big local band. They're cool. It's weird to call them a big local band because it almost feels like a backhanded compliment, but they're doing their thing. Tell me, how did you first discover Nara's Room and any memories you have of them?
I recently discovered them when creating this mixtape. They were like suggested or through a radio, or you also might like, and I started listening through their various tracks, and it was just like a bit nostalgic, easy listening, kind of reminds me of Black Marble. So I just enjoyed the energy.
Have you seen them live yet, or not really, right? Because I guess you have recently discovered them, right? Correct.
Yeah, I have yet to see them perform.
Well, you'll have to make it out and check it out. Maybe go to one of the shows that Brain Rot is live streaming. Maybe you could volunteer and you could run the live stream, because I think that they are having trouble getting people who want to do it. So just throwing it out there. Yeah, Nara's Room. I don't think I've actually heard any songs by them other than this one. And the reason the band Sparklehorse?
No.
So that's like a really big, they're big. They're a big band. They're called Sparklehorse. And I was like, man, I wonder if Sparklehorse has a song called Nara's Room. Mm-hmm. And they don't, from at least not what I could find. But maybe one day Sparklehorse will make a song called Nara's Room. For now, here is Sparklehorse by Nara's Room. Next up, Caroline Strickland with a song called Prettiest Girl of Heaven. Tell me a bit about Caroline Strickland.
I found her through, I check Oh My Rockness often to try to see who's playing, what's going on, and most of the time it's a bunch of bands I've never heard of. And so if I have a few hours, I'll Google search whoever's playing, listen to their stuff as kind of just my, like, a tool to find new musicians. And I found her, and she was playing a show with all women front band. So I was like, okay, perfect. Who is this person? Listened to her stuff on Spotify and was just blown away by her voice. It wasn't necessarily like a punch of the bass or the drum like some of the other songs. Her voice, I just was like, wow. She has found a way to really emphasize her voice in a way that I try to do, but it's a difficult thing.
Yeah, the vocals are the hardest instrument to play. That's how I feel. Like, because they're yours. That's it. You got them. They're yours. You can get to certain notes. You can't get to other notes. You just got to work with what you got. It's you know, it's tough. It's a very hard thing to do. So it's a skill to be admired. I feel like this is the part of the mixtape where things start to kind of, you know, get a little calmer maybe after this one. You said you go to Oh My Rockness and like research some of these bands to see if you might like them. That is quite an undertaking. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on that website. For those who don't know, this is like a New York City based concert calendar almost. And there is so much. How do you really like go through and like listen to all of them, or is it like if you kind of just go by a name or something? How do you dig through that?
There's absolutely no way I could go through every single one. You're right. So usually there's like an asterisk or it's orange or like highlighted if it's like big or local or selling fast or something. And sometimes I just go by the name where I'm like, what the heck is Hot Dog Dizzy? Like, I don't even know. It's just...
Is that a real band? Hot Dog Dizzy?
No,
that's cool. Ah, damn. Sounds like a jazz musician. It's your boy Hot Dog Dizzy on the trombone.
It's the next DJ.
I'm gonna, after we get off of this, I still have to do like 7 of these session things. I'm just gonna make one called Hot Dog Dizzy. It's happening. So another thing that I just thought of maybe good strategy is to go for venues that, you know, book the type of acts that you like, you know, but then it can get you into like a bubble sort of, you know, like Our Wicked Lady. I think Our Wicked Lady's gone now, right? But Our Wicked Lady used to always book like the same types of bands. And I knew when I'd go there, I was like, I'm not going to not like it, but I might not like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think, in terms of the digging through the local music scene, it's fucking hard if you're not like 22 and just out at all these shows, but it's so rewarding when you do find someone who you're like, oh shit, this person's right down the street from me, and like it feels good. It feels organic. It's not like you just got served it on like Spotify or whatever. So shout out Caroline Strickland. Let's listen to Prettiest Girl of Heaven. Next up, Maria Usbeck with Mar. This album, Naturaleza, came across in our Brain Rot Radio. Like, you know, we get all the albums in and they put them in a spreadsheet and we can kind of go look at them. But this one came across and I loved this album. This was a highlight for me for the year. How did you? I didn't know this person's from New York. Are they from New York, Maria Usbeck?
Not sure where they're from, but I believe they're currently in the New York area.
Yeah, tell me a bit about how you discover. Well, I guess if you're discovering them as homework for this, but tell me a bit about like what they mean to you and how the music strikes you.
Yeah, this song, I was just like, what a bop. Like, what a groove. And I don't know if you feel this way about where you were in Florida, but I feel like at least where I'm from in Florida, it's so influenced by like Latinx culture and Cuban food. And so there also is some like comfort to just like background Spanish all the time. It feels very, very normal. And so you pick up on every few words or so. So it does feel like, just like a comfort and familiar. And I think it's brilliant and brave. And there's something really special when someone sings in their like native. I actually don't know if this is their first language, but I'm assuming there's something really beautiful when someone speaks or sings in their first language. I think you can't replace that energy.
Yeah. This album is really cool because she sings in Spanish on some of it and in English on other songs. It's pretty cool. I always think that it's really interesting when a band whose English isn't their first language who sing in English. Like one example of it would be like, remember that indie rock band Phoenix? They're like French band, but they sing in English. And I think like, obviously their command of English is like expert level. They speak English very well, but it doesn't change the fact that they're gonna phrase things just a little bit differently, or they're gonna like reframe things in a different way because they have another linguistic perspective. And I think that makes it so cool, and that's maybe why I liked this album so much. Now that I think about it, I didn't even think about her singing in two different languages until now. So shout out Maria Usbeck. Let's listen to it. Here's Mar by Maria Usbeck. This next one was my favorite one off of this playlist. It's called L Train, which I'll say they lost me at the name. I was like, kind of cheesy to name a song after an L Train. I'll listen to it though. And then I listened to the song and I was like, redeemed. Love it. Abby Huston, is that how you say the person's name?
Sounds right.
Yeah, spelled Huston, so it could be Huston. But L Train, Abby Huston. Catie, what do you think?
Similarly, this person was put on a bill with mutual friends playing a show at, I think, Purgatory years ago. And this is like, I'm judging myself, not going to any of these shows, but seeing that they're there, looking up the bands. I had looked up this person at that time, again, years ago, and have followed her for quite a while. And, she had a baby, so music has been on pause, and I feel so weird knowing this through social media. Again, this is so creepy. The internet
You're like a journalist. You're like a journalist, though. Like, this is what journalists do, I think. They just dig through people's social media and are like, so you went to fucking the grocery store. How was that? Or whatever. I don't know. But wait, so they had a child.
Yes.
And they took a break, you're saying, from music?
Yeah, it seems so. That seems to be like the primary focus. And I think this record came out 2021 or 22. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, 2021 is right. I clicked on their page over here to read about them. Guess where they started, where they were from? Richmond, Virginia, which is where I live now. How crazy is that? And unbelievable. Like, this makes me want to reach out to them and be like, hey, do you want to like do an episode of this show? Because technically it's in Richmond, but New York, Richmond, Houston, it's kind of like all three of those things put together. But yeah, very cool. I loved this song. Like, if I recall correctly, right, this was the one. There's like strings in it, and like it's pretty ornate. It's not just your standard, fucking guitar based drums. Like there's cool stuff happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's really awesome, and you should definitely reach out to come on the show.
I might just have to do it. As long as their internet is good, though. That's one thing we really like take pride in here at the show, is that we only book guests with top-notch internet. Let's listen to L Train by Abby Huston. We got 2 songs left on this mixtape, and the 7th track is a song called Big Plans by Catie, Lausten. This is another one that I loved. Like, for me, as this thing slowed down and tailed off, that's where I found my favorite tunes in this playlist. So tell me a bit about what struck you about this tune and just about Catie Lausten's music in general.
Yeah, similarly to a few of the women, she was also playing a show with, oh gosh, I'm forgetting who now, but she was playing a show with someone else that I know, and had never heard of her before. And so I again looked up Spotify, looked up her music, and was again blown away by her voice. I was just like, what an angelic voice. And I think she also has an EP or a full-length record coming out soon as well. So I think this one is just a single release.
Yeah, her latest album is called All Roads Lead to Parking Lots, which is a great name. But you want to hear some crazy shit? So I clicked on the Spotify page, and when you go to the About, it'll tell you where their top listeners are. Top amount of listeners, Richmond. I swear, I'm not making this up. This is like wild that these 2 artists both have connections to Richmond. Yes, I got to do my own fucking homework on Richmond music scene. Quick aside, I had some blog reached out, and the press person I work with was like, hey, I pitched you for this type of article where you can get interviewed or talk about the Richmond music scene and shine a light on it, like, because it's kind of a scene that people don't know too much about. And I was like, respectfully, I have to decline because I don't know enough about it. Like, I'm not going to go on there and like start telling people about stuff I don't know, you know what I mean? But apparently Richmond has a thriving music scene, so maybe I should really dig into it. Here's Big Plans by Catie Lausten. Closing the playlist out. The closer is always such an important track, right? So you must have, you said, what did you call yourself? An ideas girly. You must have had a big idea about why you chose this. The song is Echoes by Leah Rando.
Oh, Leah. I couldn't not include her in this playlist. She is someone who... Is this stalkerish? I don't know. She is someone who also works at Say. So we have that connection. I've met her through the Say Coffee family. And she's also from Florida. And we have a lot of mutual friends. And she is someone who I would say in the last year or two has really progressed her sound, her voice. She released a record, I think, last year. And she's recording again in August, and I can't wait to hear what it sounds like. But she's just a songwriter who's always kind of writing something, putting it on the internet, really transparent with her thoughts and what she's feeling. And I just love her voice and her work.
Amazing. Well, we got the Florida connection here too. It's been a, earlier you talked about there being a web of musicians, and like, there's a web of this playlist. There's a web in itself. Let's listen to Echoes by Leah Rando. And there you go. That's it. That is your mixtape, Catie Callihan's mixtape. Catie, what'd you think? Was it kind of a good, like, smooth experience of that mixtape? Were there any hardball questions that I threw at you that threw you for a loop you couldn't handle?
I'm shaking. No.
Yeah, well, you said you were nervous. I was wondering if you're still nervous. Yeah.
No, I'm feeling good. I'm still walking away with like, oh, I have so much research to do on these people and where they're playing and like kind of like
what kind of groceries they're buying, that kind of stuff, right? You gotta know. We gotta know these things.
And this like, girl, get your ass to the show. Just like go support them with your money. That's one of the biggest things. I'm like, ooh, I feel kind of bad talking about them and not like supporting in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though. It's hard to get out there sometimes, and it's, especially in New York, it's not like the easiest thing to get somewhere, you know? Like if the show's down the street, it's like, okay, cool, I'll go. And if the show is like, 45 minutes away and you have to take 2 trains, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I get it. It's tough. That was an incredible playlist though, and it introduced me to a lot of people. I'm really going to check out that Abby Huston thing. I think that album, Aha, or EP, I don't know what it is, but it is incredible. I'm going to put it on after this show. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to play a little game, and then we'll get the hell out of here. All right, we're back with the hit game, Build the Bill. I didn't make it up. I just repurposed some social media bullshit, but here's how it works. You got $15 to build your dream bill. So here are the tiers, Catie. We got the $5 tier. That includes Cat Power, Angel Olsen, Big Thief, Sharon Van Etten, and Boy Genius, some heavy hitters. We got the $4 tier, Perfume Genius, Jenny, I've never known how to say it, Jenny Hval, Waxahachie, Mitski, and Phoebe Bridgers. We got the, and isn't Phoebe Bridgers in Boy Genius? So this will give you like you got 2 chances at Phoebe here. The $3 tier, Haley Hendricks, Julia Jacqueline, Ways Blood, Algis Harding, and Hand Habits. The $2 tier, Mothers, Lomelda, Emma Ruth Rundle, Julie Byrne, and OK Kaya. And the $1 tier, the best value tier, I love the $1 tier, Annie DeRusso, Joanna Warren, Tom Berlin, Nara's Room, and Kara Jackson. So, Catie, you're looking at this. Is there anything, before you tell me your $15 collection, is there anything that sticks out to you?
I'm having like a funny reaction where I'm like wanting to defend the $1 and the $2, where I'm like, no, we love you all, like just because. And I'm like, so I'm like feeling a bit funny, like comparing like this part of me that's like, we love everyone. Don't compare, is like coming out.
I agree with you, and I think that's why this exercise is cool, because it's all so arbitrary that, it's whatever. The last time we did this was in episode 2 this season with Justin McFadden, and the theme was like bummer jams. And Smog, Bill Callahan Smog, was in the $1 tier, and Justin didn't pick Bill Callahan.
My
and
father.
I was like, give me 15 Smogs. I want the Smog. I want Smog all day. What a value. Which is why I was saying the $1 tier, that's where you can find some good value. So what are we thinking? You got $15. Tell me where you're going with it.
This is really tough for 2 reasons. One, I'm really bad at math. 2, for the logistics I just described of like having to be decisive. Woof.
I'll help you keep track of it. I can help you with the math part.
Thanks.
The decisiveness, that's on you.
All right. So thank you. I feel supported. I gotta go $5 with Big Thief, especially because they're releasing a new record. I'm dying to know what the heck is going on with this thing in September, I think.
Oh, you know what? Funny that you mentioned that. So, little plug. My album's coming out same day. I'm going up right against them. I think we know how that's going to turn out. I'm going to release the hit of September. Actually, Aren't you releasing an album in September? Yeah, so maybe September's crowded with hits. Big Thief for $5. I mean, I would be lying if I said that I didn't think you weren't picking it. What I'm trying to say is I thought you were going to pick that one. So Big Thief is where 5 of your bucks have gone. You got $10 left.
$10 left. $10 left. I'm going to go with Julia Jacqueline, my $3.
Yes, what value there, right? Julia Jacqueline in the $3 tier. That puts you at 13. So right now you've got Big Thief and you've got Julia Jacqueline. I'm sorry, it puts you at 8. Talk about math, right? You've got 7 left, I believe, right? We can do this. Together, we will get to 15. You got $7 left.
7 left. Whatever you say, boss. Okay. I would go with Hand Habits. I think would be a great fit with the bill.
That's another 3, right? So that leaves you with $4.
Okay, we're really getting down to the wire. I haven't heard Mothers. They haven't put out anything in a million years, but I love her. Kristen?
Yeah, Christine Leschper. Does that sound right?
Amazing. Like worship her songwriting. So would love to see that. That's $2 more.
2, so that leaves you with 2. This is interesting because you can either get another $2 artist or you can get 2 $1 artists. Then you'll have like an all-day thing. It'll be like a little mini music festival at that point.
What is Julie Byrne? I know I have seen her and I know that I like her music, but I cannot tell you what she sings.
Julie Byrne's big hit is called Follow My Voice. She also has a song called Sleepwalker, another good song called Natural Blue. These are off of a 2017 album called Not Even Happiness.
Okay, yes. Not Even Happiness. I remember that record being on in the background a lot during COVID, working at the coffee shop. So we go way back. Maybe I'll bring her to the front.
You've trauma bonded with Julie Byrne, so you're adding her to this festival-esque playlist.
Yeah.
Or bill, I should say, not even playlist. So let's go through that. You've got Big Thief for $5. You've got Julia Jacqueline for $3. You've got Hand Habits for $3. You've also got Mothers and Julie Byrne. That is quite a collection right there. I think you played the game very well. And then we're going to turn this one into a social clip because that's what I do with these Build the Bills. I feel like people on social media love to give their opinion on what they would do with the $15. So who knows? Maybe you're going to get some journalists of their own researching you and seeing what you did wrong, why you should have picked Waxahachie or something like that.
Bring it on. I'm ready for it. I love a good opinion.
Hey, that's what this show is. For me, my 15, I don't know how I would want Cat Power, so that's 5 down. I'd want Waxahachie. I gotta go Nara's Room. I'll do Boy Genius as well. So I'll get Cat Power, Boy Genius, Waxahachie, and Nara's Room. Nara's Room is no longer a local band after that. That is gonna put them on the fucking map. Catie, thank you so much for coming on this little podcast, playing this game, telling us about Parrish. Once more, the EP is going to be out September 12th, your birthday, I believe, right? So it's the greatest birthday present of all. Where can people keep up with you, keep up with Parrish, and what's all the social media links and plugs and stuff? Sure.
Thanks for having me on here. You can find Parrish on Instagram. It's _P3, not an E, P3 RISH. And I also post stuff that I'm writing or working on or cross post with the Parrish account on mine, which is also an _. There's like a thing about us with the underscorers. Ugh.
It's all about the underscores. Underscores are, oh wait, you don't like it?
I don't know.
Underscores are cool.
Okay. It's just like, come on, you got it. Like, really, we're going there.
It's better than the M dashes. I feel like, look, I love M dashes, and I'm pissed because ChatGPT took over M dashes. So anytime you write anything, on the internet with the fucking M dash, people are like, oh, this is AI. It's like, no, dude, it's not AI. It's just someone who like knew how to write before ChatGPT, whatever, different thing. So you're cross posting with these underscores. It's, what's the other one? It's at underscore P3 RISH.
Yes.
And then the other one?
Oh, just my personal underscore Rose Bandit. ROSE Bandit BANDIT.
Whenever I see the word rose written out, I read it as rose. So like rose bandit, swiping all the rose.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's rose. It's just, it ends in an E. Who knows? Listeners, viewers, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As always, you can go to tapeclub.substack.com. There you can sign up for the free thing if you somehow aren't already signed up. The free thing is great. It gets you the articles, it gets you this podcast. There's also a paid thing. The paid thing gets you cassettes mailed to your door. If you want cassettes, if you want like little tangible art, sign up. It's $5 a month, or you can get the entire year for $50. If you don't want that shit, just sign up for free. You'll get all this. The free one's better, in my opinion. Just saying. Catie, thank you again for doing this. Listeners and viewers, thank you for listening and viewing, and we will see you next time. Peace. The J-Card podcast is a fully independent production. It is made possible by listeners and viewers just like you. So if you want to support us, tapeclub.substack.com is the place to go.